Hey there, fellow captains. I'm Aya, your resident Star Trek fan and Star Trek Online player, and welcome to the Captain's Temporal Star Chronicle. This is the start of what I hope will be a fun journey where we can dive into Star Trek Online, check out how it connects to the vast Star Trek universe, and most importantly, have a blast while doing it. So, let's be real here for a second. The last decade hasn't actually been smooth sailing for Star Trek fans. Whether you love or hate the new Trek, it's kinda safe to say it's been a mess. That's why I love Star Trek Online. It brings back the things that made me fall in love with Star Trek in the first place. Like, characters, world building, interesting stories, with some added bonus of pew-pew fights. So naturally, since I am a Trekkie, I want to talk about it. So, how did I find Star Trek Online? Believe it or not, I first heard about Star Trek Online 10 to 12 years ago. But back then, it was a paid game, and my wallet basically said, yeah, not today. Fast forward to about a year and a half ago, and I randomly stumbled on an online video about Star Trek Online. Thank you, Certified Lean Game. And guess what? Not only was the game still alive and kicking, but it had gone free to play. That was my cue to jump in, and well, here we are. Is Star Trek Online actually free? The short answer is yes. But also kinda no. So the game itself is absolutely free and you can play all of the content without spending a single dime. However, if you want those top tier ships, weapons, and some of the cool cosmetics, you'll either need to spend real life money or grind in-game currency. The good news? You can earn that currency just by playing, though how long it takes depends on how often you play. Oh, and there's also a lifetime subscription option, which normally costs around $300. But here's a pro tip. STO runs discounts a few times a year, and I snagged mine for about $150. We'll talk about more whether or not that is worth it in some later episodes. So, what is the plan for this channel? To keep things fair and fun, I created a fresh free-to-play account so we can experience this together, just like a brand new player would. And trust me, Star Trek Online is surprisingly good with episode drops so you won't feel like you're stuck in a grind fest. This way, we get a mostly realistic view of what starting from scratch is like, with some added bonus of me playing this game about 18 months now, so I kinda know some stuff. Now, I am no connoisseur when it comes to Star Trek Online. I am still a beginner. Literally, I'm figuring out things as I'm going, and there are times where I go into the episode or do something online and I'm like, wait, you can do this? So don't expect to get all the tips and tricks, but generally some of them are going to make your life a little bit easier and the game more enjoyable in the beginning. So whether you're a total newbie or a veteran looking to relive the early days, I hope this series helps you navigate the game and appreciate all the awesome Trek lore hidden inside. If that sounds like your kind of content, then hit the like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode. Alrighty, captains, set phasers to fun and engage. Oh yeah, I kind of forgot to tell you that I love puns and dad jokes. Definitely love dad jokes. So you've been warned. Alright, before we dive in, here's a friendly heads up. Spoilers ahead. There's just no way to break down the gameplay, the lore, and the tips without spilling some juicy details. so consider yourself warned. The Klingon tutorial in Star Trek Online is kind of a nice introduction to the life in the Empire, filled with action, betrayal, and honor. It starts with End of the Watch, where you'll meet Lieutenant Kugan and go through routine duties until an unexpected message hints at a deeper intrigue. Red Alert throws you into chaos of Starfleet attacks, forcing you to defend your ship while uncovering Captain Jurlek's secret. This all culminates in Challenge for Command, where you need to fight your captain and take command with Kugan stepping up to be your first officer. Your new command introduces some space combat, teaching you ship controls and targeting live battle scenarios, and finally Journey to Konos sees you escorting a mysterious prisoner, to the first city, bringing the tutorial to a satisfying conclusion. This tutorial is kind of a perfect blend of a little bit of combat, a little bit of story, a little bit of Klingon honor, and setting the stage for the adventures ahead in Star Trek Online universe. Alright, adventurers, let's kick things by downloading the game. First of all, let's head over to the ARC page, and we need to click on this sign in link. Once we're there, we go to sign up here. Sometimes it's not very clear where you need to go in order to sign up for your account. Fill in the information, create your account, and now we'll go through just the process of signing in. Once we've done that, you can see this Play Now button. Click on that and game will automatically start the download on your computer. Afterwards, of course, you need to, I'm just going to cancel that because I already have that. You need to go and actually install the game on your computer. Okay, now we go to once you've done that, you can start the game. The first thing you'll get is this ARC launcher. So you'll need to sign in your information. And once that's done, the game will open up and you can literally engage. Now that we have a game on our computer, we have launched it, we can log in, and the first initial screen is asking if you like to save your computer for future logins. Of course, the quick tip, the only tip, only select that option if you're playing on your own device. So, why I'm starting with the Klingon character? Well, besides being totally awesome, I'm kicking off my adventure at the start of the year, right when there's an active Klingon recruitment event. And here's the tip. If you have the option, go with the recruit events characters. So what's the recruitment event anyway? It's a global time-limited event that gives new characters a nice little boost. There are 4 events through the year. So we have the Klingon that runs somewhere in from the middle of the January to the middle of the February. It's the perfect time for starting the year strong. We have the deltas throughout the spring, so somewhere around April, May. We have the temporal recruit for the summer fun, and we finally have the gammas, October or November. Now this one is more for the veterans, so newbies might want to hold off on this one. So like I just said, if you're just starting out, I highly recommend creating your characters during these events, well, except Gamma. Not only do these events help you level up faster with some cool bonuses and rewards, but they also boost your future characters, making their journeys even smoother. My plan for this channel, I'll be diving into all 4 recruitment events, and with the Klingon recruit, we will go through all the episodes and the entire story so far. And when it comes to all the other recruits, we will be exploring the tutorial and the first stages of these recruits and maybe some differences in some specific episodes. We'll also be exploring the bonuses you can unlock and sharing all the fun tips along the way. So buckle up. It's going to be an exciting ride and a little bit bumpy. It always is a little bit bumpy. Alright, future captain, it's time to build your alter ego in the stars. First, you'll choose your faction. As you can see, we have 6 available options here. 3 are Federation timelines, 1 is Klingon, 1 is Romulan, and 1 Dominion. Each faction offers a range of races, each with its own unique traits. Every faction and species come with its own unique set of traits that shape your gameplay in a couple of key ways. They can define your they do define your captain's abilities, and they enhance your bridge officers. Personally, I am going to go with an alien species because it gives me an extra trait slot for even more cool abilities. Next, we need to pick our career. If you are new to the game, I highly recommend going tactical. Both tactical and science have plenty of resources available on the exchange, though science can be a bit pricey for beginners. There's also an engineering career, but as the joke goes, engineers don't get nice things, and you'll find far fewer resources geared towards them. So, it's not fewer, it's just you need to know exactly what you're looking for. So maybe hold on to engineer career path until you get a handle on what you're doing in the game. So unless you are in the mood for a bit of a challenge and a good laugh, tactical is the way to go. Now comes the fun part, customizing your look. This is where you can get creative with your character's appearance. Don't worry about perfection though, you can always tweak your style later on. And now finally, we'll choose our character's name. A quick note, your captain's name can only be changed by purchasing Zen. It's about 1000 Zen for roughly $10, while your formal name and ship can be updated anytime later. Now with our faction, career, style, and name sorted, we're all set to embark on an epic adventure in the cosmos. So ready to explore the galaxy? Let's go! Alright, let's talk gaming setups. Mine's a bit different from what most Star Trek Online players use. I'm rocking a laptop hooked up to my TV via HDMI, and instead of the classic keyboard and mouse combo, I'm playing with a gamepad. I don't know, it's not the console, not exactly the norm for MMORPG, but hear me out. As a graphic designer, I'm already glued to my keyboard all day, so the last thing I want is more typing when I'm unwinding. Also, never been good with consoles. So, yeah, I want to play a PC game, but I kind of want the console experience. So, for me, it's the gamepad. Now, first up, as you can see, I had to input my keybinds. In case you're wondering, keybinds are essentially the shortcuts that map your gamepad or your keyboard buttons to a specific in-game actions and the interface commands. They speed up your gameplay and make assessing the UI a breeze. There are a couple of methods for creating them. There's a simple beginner-friendly option that you can customize directly through the keybinds section under the option. And there's the advanced keybind scripting. Personally, my keybinds are the scripted ones. I have, of course, for both ground and space combat, and I am going to load them up via the chat window. I'm not going to be diving deep into the keybind creation today because honestly, I am still mastering that Frankenstein. I have this thing that works for me. If somebody who actually knew how this thing is done looked at them, they would probably laugh their ass off. But it's just me. So no matter how you play, here are some of the quick tips. Whether you're a hardcore PC gamer or you prefer the laid-back gamepad style like me, I highly recommend checking out the Brat's Gaming channel and his video on keybinds for the Star Trek Online. Links is going to be in the description. It's packed with everything you need to know, so you're not desperately mashing buttons mid-combat. There is a beginner-friendly explanation of what the keybinds are, how to use them, where to find them, how to create them, and stuff like that. Plus, there are some other cool resources out there like a Reddit guide on gamepad keybinds and MC Stu's video on the keybind software. All the links are in the description, so no excuses. Of course, there are also tons and tons of YouTube videos that you can find when it comes to Star Trek Online and keybinds, and please feel free to check them out because these guys actually know what they're talking about when it comes to keybinds. Now, if you do have keybinds for your in-game action, there's a simple way to activate them. Just simply open the chat window and you type this, you start typing keybind, and it's going to give you an option of what you can do with those keybinds. I'm going to choose this option that says load. Then enter your file name .txt and you can load them. Remember, you'll need separate keybind files for space and ground combat. For the ground combat, you need to input those keybinds when you're on the ground map, and for the space combat, you need to input them when you are on the space map. But trust me, once you have them set up, you'll wonder how you ever played without them. Did I wonder? Yes, I did. I definitely did. Alright, with all the setup of the way, it's time to jump into the Klingon recruit tutorial and start causing some chaos in the Empire. Since you're playing as a Klingon recruit and this is our first character, the tutorial isn't just an option, it's a must. This is where you'll get your encrypted Klingon receiver, and it's also a debut for the first character on my account. Right off the bat, you'll see a bunch of these pop-up instructions teaching you how to move, jump, search, and interact. Keep in mind that since I'm using a gamepad, the icons in this video might differ slightly from what you can see on your own screen. Also, I need you to notice the tray panel at the bottom. There are separate panels for ground and space combat, of course, where you can activate abilities for your captain, bridge officer, kits, ship, and items. We'll dive deeper into those abilities in later episodes, but for now, just know this setup is tailored for my gamepad, so it might be very different from yours based on the career you choose. You will start off as a second officer on a Klingon bird of prey at the end of your shift. Early on, you'll meet Lieutenant Kagan, son of Care, the third officer on the tutorial Starship, who will eventually become your first bridge officer. Your very first task? Writing reports. Even the mighty Klingon Empire isn't free from bureaucracy. Now, this is a good way to get to understand how to move, how to interact, basic steps. We're starting baby steps only. Now we are going to interact with Captain Jurlak, who will tell us it's time for sleep. But we don't hit the sack just yet. We had the conversation with Lieutenant Kagan, who was bragging about his holodeck program, and that we go and check out that hologram program, and it's about to kick in, and instead of snoozing, we're going to shoot some Starfleet. Of course, the greatest way to start a Star Trek Online game is by shooting some Starfleet officers. This segment also lets you practice using the tray panel to switch your weapons, to try some abilities and stuff like that. Now, after wrapping up the holodeck session, the real game changer arrives. So you will receive your encrypted Klingon receiver. This custom designed transceiver is delivered by a mysterious contact, and that contact will give you tasks for your patron and let you log each completed mission and earn additional equipment and rewards. Activating it opens the Klingon Recruit user interface, displaying a list of tasks and goals. Every time you complete one of these tasks, you will get an ability to claim a reward. And some tasks even unlock account-wide bonuses that you can pick up from a temporal agent. Now, temporal agent is located on Kronos for us Klingons, Earth Space Dock for Starfleet, or New Romulus Command for Romulus. So, let's grab that receiver and take a good look through the mini tasks and rewards, both for your characters and those coveted account-wide bonuses. With that in hand, you're ready to dive deeper into the tutorial and embrace your destiny as a proud Klingon warrior. Now, the next part of the Klingon tutorial is kind of wild no-nonsense roller coaster of action and betrayal. So just as you're getting comfortable, there's a rude awakening courtesy of Starfleet that sends you charging into the ground battle scenario. Here, we'll quickly meet our first officer, Duran, who lays out the tasks ahead while you scramble to rally your crew. The fun and chaos really begins when you discover that your so-called captain has been playing both sides. So we have betrayal, we have traitors, we have a dash of a Klingon honor, all collide when Duran challenges him to combat, only to lose, paving the way for you to step up. With a decisive showdown, you defeat the dishonorable Jurlek and claim your rightful place as captain, with Lieutenant Kagan moving up to the first officer. Now, with the captain's chair under you, the tutorial kind of shifts gears to a crash course in piloting and space combat. It's all about mastering ship movement, precise targeting, and of course, blowing stuff up. Because what's a space battle without some epic explosions? I ask you. I don't know. Maybe you have the answer. The grand finale is escorting our prisoner to Kronos and handing over the mysterious prisoner to the Gorn Horde. Mission accomplished. We're left wondering if we can ever go back to a boring nap again. This part of the tutorial is really good. I liked it. It's fast-paced, it's thrilling introduction to the gritty world of Star Trek Online. It's a good blend of humor, some high stakes, and of course, the most important part of every tutorial, it does give you the basics so you can actually start playing the game. In this episode, we'll focus on 3 different species that we got introduced to. Klingons, obviously, the Gorn, and the Nausicaans. So let's start with the stars of the show. The Klingons are a humanoid warrior species from the planet Kronos. That's an M-class world in the Beta Quadrant. They are one of the major galactic powers, known for their pride, their honor, and the combat skills. If there's one thing you should know about Klingons is that they take their warrior culture very seriously. We're talking honor and strength that mean everything, and their aggressive, battle-hardened society has made them a feared and respected military force across the galaxy. And the Klingons first appeared in Star Trek the original series in Season 1, episode called Errand of Mercy, but then they looked a bit different, so no forehead ridges. But over time, their design kind of evolved into the fierce warriors we know today. Now let's talk about the Gorn, the big scaly reptilian badasses of the galaxy. We meet Gazan, a warden on Konos, but the species has a much bigger history in Star Trek. The Gorn are reptilian species known for their brute strength, durability, and strategic cunning. Unlike Klingons, who value honor in battle, the Gorn are more territorial and ruthless when it comes to defending what's theirs. They were first introduced in TOS episode Season 1 Arena, where Captain Kirk famously fought a Gorn captain in a battle that was, let's just say, not the fastest space fight scene in TV history. But seriously, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's a classic. I know a lot of people like to make fun of this episode because, oh my god, there's a man in a rubber suit. But it's actually a good episode. And when it comes to the rubber suit, that was like an expensive thing in the 60s. Let's not forget that TOS was made in 60s. So yeah, I would give it a lot more credit than a lot of people say. So if you came into the Star Trek maybe hearing about this episode, please, there are ways you can watch this episode. Watch it. It actually has a good story. In Star Trek Online, the Gorn are the part of the KDF, Klingon Defense Force, after the Klingon Empire conquered them. And while they may have lost their independence, their brutal strengths make them valuable warriors for the Empire's ranks. And finally, now we meet the Nausicaans. These guys are a whole different breed. Originating from their homeworld Nausicaa, in the Beta Quadrant, Nausicaans are typically over 2 meters tall and pack some serious muscle. With their very distinct faces that are featuring a bold bone structure on their foreheads and sharp tusks on their sides, they are really impossible to miss. Thanks to their strength and reputation for being a bit on the violent side, often end up working as mercenaries or hired muscle. They were even hired by the Gorn hegemony to help their fight against the Klingon Empire, and when the Gorn got absorbed into the Klingon, the Nausicaans jumped right in with them. And if that wasn't enough, these guys are also notorious pirates, preying on freighters and civilian transports. Their first TV appearance is in memorable Star Trek The Next Generation episode Tapestry from season 6, I think, where Captain Picard gets a rare chance to go back in time and talk about making an entrance. Now, this is the reason why I like talking about Star Trek. Each species in Star Trek brings its unique flavor to this universe. Whether you're all about the Klingon honor, the raw power of the Gorn, or no-holds-barred attitude of the Nausicaans, there's never a dull moment out here in space. Okay, so this is the real reason I started this channel and went with this whole concept. So when I first started playing Star Trek Online with my Klingon character, I got my first ship. Something about it felt kind of familiar. I couldn't quite place it, but I knew I've seen it before. So like any good Trekkie, I did what we all do. I went to Star Trek Wiki, and bam, there it was, the Somraw Raptor. Turns out the ship first appeared in Star Trek episode in season 1 called Sleeping Dogs, which aired in 2002. Now this episode starts with Enterprise NX-01 discovering a Class 9 gas giant, and Captain Archer, being the explorer that he is, orders a closer look. A probe picks up something weird, a ship is sinking into the gas giant, and if it keeps descending, the pressure will crush it within the hour. Rewatching this episode after playing Star Trek Online really reminded me why I love this game. It's not just a fun MMORPG, but it's like a map for an epic journey throughout the Star Trek universe. This game connects all the dots. And honestly, Sleeping Dogs is a fantastic episode, especially for Hoshisato and T'Pol. Both of them have some great character moments that really show their growth. Now again, when I'm talking about different episodes where different things have appeared, please go watch them. I know there's so many people who haven't watched some of the great episodes of Star Trek because they heard or they saw the clip, oh my god, the CGI isn't the greatest. Yeah, they were TV shows. When I was growing up, we were not spending hundreds of millions of dollars per episode of a TV show. But what Star Trek does have, it has a great stories. So watch it. Okay. Let's go back to this little beast. I know, compared to some of the incredible ships you'll be able to get later in the game, or especially the ships that you can buy, it might not seem that impressive. But trust me, as a starter ship, it's pretty solid. This Raptor is named after IKS Somraw, a 22nd century Klingon vessel, and he got some muscle. Look, it's gonna win you all the battles in the beginning. Don't try to play this ship in like advanced TFOs or something, but for the gameplay, it's really good. And let's be real, I'm defending this ship because I just like pretty ships. Please don't tell the Klingons I call their ships pretty, okay? But they kind of look awesome. I like it. Yeah, it's just me. So, to wrap up our first episode, we were talking about recruitment events, why I chose the Klingon recruit, some of the gameplay, some of the controls, some of my setup, the tutorial, the story progression. We have the iconic Star Trek species like Klingons and Gorn and Nausicaans. And finally, our first ship, the Somraw Raptor. So, I hope you have fun. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments, what is your favorite ship in Star Trek Online? And what is the first episode that got you into watching Star Trek? What was the episode that was like, oh yeah man, I like this? So, until the next time, Captains, kapla.